last but certainly not least is Charles Bentil, and Charles is the program leader of the YAP Credible Messenger program in Washington, D.C. And it is a program that provides much needed services to support individuals who are coming home from prison. Charles also leads YAP's very new Young Men Emerging Reentry Services program in the Washington, D.C. office. Charles brings credibility to his work as a gunshot survivor who served 15 years in prison. He is a former Source magazine staffer, remember Source back in the day? And he is a graduate of Hampton University. Charles, welcome.
Greetings. All right. My name is Charles Bentil. I'm going to say this. I'm a person who definitely believes in second chances, third chances, and even fourth chances, as long as the goal is to get it right. I don't want to sound cliche-ish up here, but at least everybody in my life and everybody that I've encountered has a story to tell. And everybody's made mistakes, some more detrimental than others. With that being said, several years ago, I was a victim of a violent crime. I was shot 13 times. I woke up from a coma. I was in a coma approximately 32 days, paralyzed from the waist down, just to be charged and sentenced eventually to 180 months. That's 15 years for those who aren't quick at math. In my first 2 years in prison, I was in a wheelchair and constantly being told I wasn't going to walk again. And as you can see, the devil's a liar. Right. So yes, I'm up walking. I'm walking with a limp, but I'm walking. And basically what happened to me, I was dealing. I was chasing money and basically destroying families and communities selling poison. While I was in prison, I made a serious transition. I began mentoring youth who were coming into the adult prison system from Washington, D.C., and what people don't really realize, they don't consider Washington, D.C. as a state. So when people get in trouble in the nation's capital, we don't have a state penitentiary, so you can end up in Texas, you can end up at the most furthest point from where you live, because we don't have penitentiaries in Washington, D.C. So my stand was I ran into a lot of guys from the district, DMV area, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and they were coming in and didn't even have like a 7th or 8th grade education. And I began tutoring young men and helping them get their GEDs while I was incarcerated for those 15 years. And the ultimate wake-up for me was basically day-to-day calling home and talking to my sisters and relatives, learning that my nephews, cousins were trying to emulate me. And they were getting in trouble on the juvenile system level. I waited till I was 21, out of college and everything before I got in trouble. So, this destroyed me to hear that. So I said then, when I get out, my goal was to mentor not only my relatives, but other youth that I see, so they wouldn't have to go through the trials and tribulations that I went through. So that's exactly what I did. Upon my release, I started doing that, and I was introduced to YAP, which is an incredible organization that gave me a chance to do God's work with these disenfranchised individuals, families, and returning citizens. I'm gonna say this, like my mom always told me, never let my mistakes define me, even though I made many. And I believe this to be sound advice for everyone. In order to change your story, someone has to offer you an opportunity. And YAP's the organization that gives people opportunities. I can speak from the heart with that. I've only been home not even 18 months, and I'm leading the Credible Messenger team in Washington, D.C. I work with men who I've been able to pass on my mom's wisdoms to. I get to give them second, third, fourth chances while empowering them with tools to transition from incarceration to freedom. I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful that I no longer sell dope. You know what I'm saying? Now I sell dopeness thanks to YAP. YAP lets me prove my mom right. I get to show my relatives that my mistakes didn't define me. And they can learn that theirs don't got to define them either. And that's about it. That's all I got to say.